are adipocytes. Adipocyte is another name for fat cell. And the number and the size of these fat cells can affect our ability to maintain a healthy weight. Hypertrophic growth refers to increase in cell size. Hyperplastic growth refers to increase in cell number. And how does that bear out when we're looking at weight control? This is a fat cell. It has a mitochondria, it has a nucleus, it has cytoplasm like all other cells, but it has this central core of triglyceride, and triglyceride is a type of fat. During weight gain, fat cells increase in size and or number. So in this first part of the slide, the example shows that during hypertrophic growth, when you are in positive energy balance, the cell is increasing in size, experiencing hypertrophic growth. But what can also happen is that the cells can increase in number. This is referred to as hyperplastic growth. So when intake continues to be greater than energy expenditure, not only do the fat cells increase in size, but they increase in number. The thing is that when you lose weight, when you begin to lose body fat, those cells decrease in size, but they don't necessarily decrease in number. And that hypothesis may explain why for some people it's harder to keep weight off. They have the same number of fat cells, the fat cells just don't contain the same amount of fat. And because those fat cells are always present, it may, and the operative word here is may, make it easier to put weight back on. That may be related to increasing weight, being inactive. People who tend to be inactive may have a tendency to gain weight more quickly, and it may be more difficult if they lose weight to keep that weight off. There are certain issues with eating behaviors, perhaps eating too fast can contribute to becoming overweight because you lose out on those signals that tell you you're full. Fast food, God, that stuff's easy to inhale, as my mother used to say. And we may not be paying attention to those food cues that tell us that we're hungry or that tell us about what we're hungry for. And there are folks who are emotional eaters. And we'll talk more about this when we talk about eating disorders. We tend to have a lot of different types of hunger, but we tend to feed them all with food. How do we control excess weight? We go back to that balance. But I will tell you that this is very easy to say, just with that in quotes, eat less and exercise more. That's the easy part. Consuming less calories, decreasing intake and increasing expenditure can certainly help draw on fat stores and help you lose body fat. That's the easy part of the equation. And we'll get to the harder part in a second. But the benefits of exercise, I'm sure you've heard of them. I'm sure you know them. And you can have a look at them here. And there's a lot of fad diets out there. Maybe when we get together, you can tell me what are some of the ones you've heard of. I used to say diets don't work. But now what I do say is all diets work while you're on them. The proof is in the maintenance. And here are some examples of diets that people have been on. And low carb is very popular now. No carb is crazy. I would really like to hear from you about what are some of the diets you've heard or that are popular that you know folks have been on and how well that's worked. This last one here, Nutrisystem, this is one of those prepackaged foods where they send you stuff, and I just have anecdote alert. Some quotes from people who've used Nutrisystem. The dehydrated hamburger becomes meat mush when prepared. Tuna and chicken salad are puree. The chocolate tastes like eating sawdust. And, that's a sin. Quote, some of my patients have complained that the meals are bland, unpalatable, and taste like cardboard. This is also one of my favorite red alerts because there's lots of fraud diets out there. I lost $350 in 2 weeks. Just ask me how. Remember, if it sounds too good to be true, it is too good to be true. Beware of weight loss supplements that are advertised as dietary supplements. What you need to know is that supplements are not regulated by the government, and what's on the label isn't necessarily what's in the product. Please be careful. While I generally am not concerned about your generic vitamin mineral supplement, I do worry about weight loss supplements, sports supplements, sexual enhancement supplements, because these can be contaminated with drugs. And weight loss supplements are not exempt. There was a medication that was taken off the market because of adverse effects, and it was found to be in a natural weight loss supplement. So yes, people lost weight when they took this supplement, but it wasn't because of any of the magic that was in the supplement or it's being natural. It's because it contained a drug that had been taken off the market. So some of these supplements can suppress appetite and may be okay. And I have here herbal stimulants, but again, what's on the label isn't necessarily what's in the product. And here are some of examples of supplements out here. This one in the lower left is one I took when I was younger, when I was overweight, and it kind of wouldn't be advertised now, but these were these little candies that came with a piece of paper that was basically a 1,200 calorie diet. It was take 2 of these with each meal and follow this diet and you'll lose weight. Well, if you just followed a 1,200 calorie diet and didn't take those candies, you would have lost weight anyway. And of course, Dr. Oz. Dr. Oz has something for everybody that probably shouldn't be talking to anybody. Then there are actual weight loss medications, not supplements, but medications. Here are some examples, although I think I've read something recently about Belvique. I'm not going to ask you to give me examples of these. What I want you to know is that there are supplements and there are medications and the risks of taking supplements. There are fat-blocking drugs. Xenical is one of them. I think it's now referred to as Ally. It blocks the absorption of about 25% of the fat that people consume. That which does not get digested and absorbed, that's what blocking does. It ultimately gets excreted, not necessarily when you want to excrete it. So it comes with risks. Surgery is another option. And I will include these video links on Blackboard for you to have a look. One of the surgeries is the gastric sleeve, where you are having a portion of your stomach removed. Up to 70% of the stomach is removed. So you are still digesting food. It's still going through your stomach. It's just that the stomach is a lot smaller. You have to eat a lot less. You need to work with a dietitian if you're going to be having this surgery. Well, any kind of surgery that is related to bariatric surgery. And the gastric bypass, please have a look at this video as well. What it involves is reducing the size of the stomach and bypassing segments of the small intestine. So now you not only have a tiny pouch where your stomach used to be, but you're also bypassing sections of the small intestine where nutrients are absorbed. So folks who have bypass surgery have to pay a lot of attention to the types of food they're eating, as well as the supplements they need to take in order to get the nutrients they need, because their body's not able to get them from food and from absorption from the small intestine. This slide shows 2 procedures, stomach stapling and vertical banded gastroplasty. Where it says staples, you can see where stapling of the stomach can occur. And then where the gastric band is, shows you that a band could be put around a part of the stomach. Now, the band could be loosened or tightened, but the staples, the concern with staples had to do with side effects. The staples could get separated. I think that's a kind way of saying the staples burst, but they had a lot of problems. So stomach stapling and gastroplasty are not as effective as the procedures shown in the 2 previous slides.